Hello everyone, Robert Burston here with Earth Sciences 103 Capstone 6 assignment, Adaptation and Mitigation. Mitigation of climate change is starting to be at the forefront of many people's minds around the world. As climate change and its effects become more apparent, there will be more countries and states in the U.S. that will start doing something to decrease the effects of climate change. I have stated before that Minnesota is not doing much to prevent the risks from flooding from climate change. That statement is still true, but that does not mean that Minnesota is going to do nothing entirely. We are just not focused on the effects, we are focused on the cause. Minnesota in 2007 initiated new legislation that required the state to lower its greenhouse gas emissions. This act is the Next Generation Energy Act, and it is a plan to lower Minnesota's greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by the year 2050. The legislation, paired with the massive tax refunds to companies that comply and lower their emissions before 2050, are helping the state meet the goal ahead of the deadline. Minnesota is also limiting the amount of coal that we burn by producing more legislation that requires electric companies to eliminate using coal entirely. This was supposed to take effect by 2018. Unfortunately, I have yet to find an update confirming what our coal use is today. Living in Minnesota most of my life, I know that we are one of the more progressive states when it comes to the mitigation of climate change. The unfortunate part is that we can only control what happens within these state lines. Right here. We only have, and I hope that we continue to be an example of the progress in the future. A little bit of an ad-lib part here. I know that the company that I work for has a huge factory, actually in my town that I currently live in. It's actually located right here. This is called Viracon. They're a huge glass manufacturer, and we've done quite a bit of work when it comes to lowering their emissions. You wouldn't think that a glass manufacturer would have a lot of emissions, but there's a lot of plastics and everything else that we dispose of that we have actually lowered our amount that we use. So that is one thing that I definitely know that's going on. Plus, the state of Minnesota has started to go the way of kind of California, where we're starting to really look at electric vehicles and that sort of thing for state purposes. So with the use of that, I think that will definitely make our goal of 80% in reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. I think we're on track, actually ahead of schedule now. But more to come in the future. Hopefully we will be an example for other states to follow as the effects of climate change become progressively worse. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.